Hey everyone, it's Jason, and welcome to another Exploding Kittens game? Question mark? It's by Exploding Kittens. It's very similar in feel to Exploding Kittens, but it is a different game itself. It is Power Hungry Pets. A deceptively simple strategy game that all comes down to a single card. So why is it very similar to Exploding Kittens? Because that game's all about draw a card, play card, trying not to explode. This game is very similar, except you want to do is at the end of every round, you want to have one card in your hand. You want to have the highest cost card, and you win the game by either every other player somehow being eliminated, much like Exploding Kittens, or at the end of every round after all the decks in the card all the cards in the deck are gone, you have the highest card. This is based off of Love Letter. So it's a Love Letter-esque game. So there's a Love Letter game. So if you've played Love Letter before, then you know exactly what you're doing here. These just have some different style and effects. But unlike some of the other versions of Love Letter-esque cards are presented by, like Batman, where maybe they had other different effects or tokens and stuff. This, I think, plays a little bit more straightforward. Granted, I have not actually played the official Love Letter. I have played Munchkin Love Letter, which I believe is pretty much a very similar experience. They just changed the names of the cards. This does a little bit more than that, but it is different. Even I did a quick review of my Munchkin one, the effects are different there. So it's not like if you played that one, or you played the original Love Letter or one of the other ones, you're not playing the exact same game, just with animals on the cards. So definitely cool. So what do we have? So exactly how do you play this game? Setup and everything is pretty easy. We're just going to fly through this very quickly. Put all 7 tokens on the table, and in the middle of the table, we have 7 crown tokens. These are basically to determine who has won each round. To win the overall game, you have to win 3 of them. So that way, I think your count can go down if you have less or more people. Shuffle all the cards and deal 1 card to each player. Randomly remove 1 card from the deck, putting aside face down without looking at it. This is so you won't know precisely which cards are in the game. If you're playing a 2-player game, remove 3 cards and set them aside face up. So in conjunction with this is what that's supposed to be, is because there's only 21 cards in the game. You're supposed to be able to kind of keep track of how many are each. There's a list here. So there is numbers 0 through 10 of different cards. Most of them, 10 through 6, only have 1 card each. 4 and 5 only have 2. 3 and 4 have, I keep missing out. 2 and 3 have 3 cards. 1 has 5, and there's 1 of a 0. So that way, when you're playing through the game, if you know that someone has already played card number 7, you know that card number 7 will not appear again. If you know that one person has played card number 5, you will know that there is another 5 somewhere in the game. But that is also why you remove 1 from the game, because you could end up removing one of them cards there's only 1 of, including the number 10 card, or you could be removing one of the cards there's 5 of. So you might be like, someone's played 4 of them. Is that 5th one the removed card, or is it in someone's hand? So it does at least keep the game a little bit guessing every time. The remaining cards are playing face down in the center to form a draw pile. This is the community draw pile. And then pick a player to go first. So they're tokens, each card, deck, player. Very simple. So then how do you actually play? Very simple. Taking your turn. Draw a card from the top of the draw pile. Now you have 2 cards. Choose 1 card to keep in your hand and place the other in your hand, and 1 card to play, putting it face up in front of you. This is not a shared discard pile. Keep all the cards you play visible in front of you so that everyone can see them. So each person will put every card out face up in front of them so that everyone, again, can look around the table and see, okay, we have a 5 here, a 7 there, an 8 there, and the 2 over there. And then as the game goes on, you can kind of see how they're piling up. So they're not all just tossed in one separate pile, so that people have to sort through them. If it helps out, I have to double check with each card effect, but I think you could lay them all like together in one pile somewhere, if that might make it easier for some people to look at them. But I have to double check each ability. I said, they immediately take the action on the cards you played. So again, much like Exploding Kittens, you play a card, do the thing, see what happens. Your turn is over, continue clockwise. That's all there is. And that's how the game is. So it says, if someone plays a card that eliminates you, put the card in your hand face up in front of you without taking any action. Don't take any turns for the rest of the round. If all but one player has been eliminated, the remaining player wins the round and takes the token. Ending the round. The round is over when you can't draw a card because there are no cards left in the draw pile. When this happens, everyone who has not been eliminated reveals their hand. The player with the highest card wins the round, takes the token. If two or more players have the same card, which is very possible, the player with the highest card in front of them wins. So 2 to 3 players, you need 3 tokens. 4 to 6, you need 2 tokens. That's the game. There is a breakdown on here of how every card kind of works a little bit more. I'm not going to get too much into each one of them. There is a tip up here, though. Sometimes it's your advantage to play a higher card and keep the lower in your hand, if taking an action on the higher card could enable you to win. So like this might be, for example, if you have one card that protects you for a round, it's which is number 4, and you have a number if you have a 5 in your hand, it might make more sense for you to keep the 4 and get rid of the 5, or vice versa, or something like that. Some of them might just make more sense to do. Yeah, so very interesting. So that's all the different stuff in there. Not too much else on there. It does recommend keeping this face up on the table. That helps players then remember which is which. Cool. So we're going to go ahead and look at each of the cards. One thing I love about this is their tarot card sizes. So like, again, before I said I have the Munchkin version, and I'm going to assume that the regular one is probably the same because it came out first. The Munchkin one is Munchkin card size, so it might be the reason for that. Maybe the other ones are different, but I like these are tarot because they're nice and big, easy to grab. If you're not sure what a tarot card type sleeve is, here's an example. So these are from Fantasy Flight. They do have other ones that are called tarot board game sleeves. Pick up a pack of 50, which is more than what you would need. But yeah, they're really nice. They just, boom, slide your card in there, fits right to the top, and now it's nice and protected. With 21 cards, they're not going to really slide around too much, but it'll help pull them off the deck if people are, again, this is a fun party game. People are maybe eating chips or maybe drinking a soda or a beverage that might have condensation. This will definitely help protect your cards. Obviously not going to keep them when someone starts bending them and stuff, but if they're bending your cards, they're not your friends, stop playing games with them. I say that in jest, but I kind of mean it. I hate when people bend my cards. Alright, so let's go through each of these cards. We have the Royal Robovac. I have not looked at any of these yet. It's a Roomba with a crown on it. If this is in your hand at the end of the round, it wins against the player holding the Cat King. So normally having 10, someone's like, I have the 10 card, I'm going to win. Let's just show off the 10 card right away. There's the Cat King, there's the opposite one. If you are immediately eliminated if you put this card face up in front of you for any reason. So your highest number is 10. So someone gets this card, you typically want to hold on to it no matter what. The only difference would be is if you have the Turbovac in your hand and you have some way of trading it to somebody else on a previous turn. But there's no way you'd have both. No way you'd have the 0 card and the 10 card in your hand and be able to get rid of the 10 card without playing it. But if somebody takes it from you, it's possible as well. Alright, what else do we have to say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copies of Crystal Bowl. And they're all going to have the exact same artwork. And these colors are really nice and helpful. So you can be like, oh, I have the pink card, I have the blue card. Guess the number of another player's card other than 1. If you're correct, they're eliminated. If you're wrong, don't reveal their card. So this is very helpful. So like early on in the game, like first, second turn, this is probably just a random guess. But as you get later in the game, you might be able to look at the other cards on the table and determine like, okay, we have all of the fives, we have the fours, we have, okay, there's a 3 left, there's a 2 left, and there's a 9 left, and the 10 left. You could be like, I can guess one of those 4. I have a 1 in 4 chance to maybe eliminate one of the other players. We have 3 copies of Mousetrapper. Stand here. Draw the top card. After looking at it, put it back into the draw pile anywhere you like in secret. So this lets you take the top card and see what it is. Put it back wherever you like in the deck. Put it back at top, put it back on bottom, put it in the middle. The only thing you can't do is rearrange the other cards. And this could be very helpful. Like, oh, if it's the, like, ideal, like, so let's say you draw the Cat King card, right? Number 10. You can be like, there's 3 other players. So in 3 turns, so 4 turns, I'll draw the top card. So you can put 4 cards down on the deck, right? You just gotta hope that nobody else plays anything that lets them draw an extra card. That effect also reminds me very much of Exploding Kittens. 3 copies of the Battle Bunny. He's going to war. Secretly compare the card in your hand to a card in another player's hand. The lower number is eliminated. So basically, I look at, I play this card, now I have 1 card left in my hand. I compare that card to somebody else. If they have a lower card, I win. So if I have this and like an 8, I have a pretty good chance of winning. If I have this and a 2, I probably wouldn't want to play this unless I really want to keep my 2 card for some reason. We have 2 copies of Shell Shield. Nice try. Shield the card in your hand, no one can take it, look at it, or force it into any action until the next turn. So when you play this card, the rules say pick it back up, kind of put it in your hand until the end of the turn to kind of show that you're shielding your other card because you have 2 cards in your hand. I think it's a visual reminder. And then nobody else can basically target you till the end of turn. To your next turn. This is very helpful late in the game. 2 copies of Snake Sorcerer. Force any other player to play the card in their hand face up in front of them without performing an action. They immediately draw a new card. So this is one of the ones that could mess up that other card because it could force someone to draw a card. Plus, you could force someone to play the 10 card by accident. Or if they got traded somehow, and that would definitely ruin their plans there. And the last one, we have 1 copy of each. We have Dodgy Gravedigger. Secretly look at the face-down card that was set aside at the beginning of the round. You may choose to swap it with a card in your hand. That's very helpful as well. This one, and like the last one here, so like this one says, to draw a card, it says, if there are no more cards in the deck, you're that low in the game, then you just draw that card from outside the game. So it also does play an effect there as well. I like that you have the option of swapping it, though. It's pretty cool. It doesn't force you to do it. That would have sucked, right? Jerry Juggler. All players put their hand into the draw pile. Shuffle the draw pile, then deal all players a new card. This is a fun, chaotic card. If you have Shell Shield, you can obviously avoid this. But yeah, that's a really nice thing to be able to, like, again, mess up everything. Hermit Home Swap. Want to trade? Force another player to trade a card in their hand with a card in your hand. And then finally we have Not a Pet. That is a skunk. Any player with the King Cat in their hand must swap cards with you. If no one, this card does nothing if no one is holding the King Cat or if you are. So this is kind of an interesting double tricky thing. If you're holding the King Cat, you could play this and be like, ask everybody else, oh, you have it, you have it. Nope, no one else has the King card. So everyone's like, oh, must still be in the deck, or it's the discard card. They don't necessarily have to know you have it. Alternatively, you can find out, same way, even if you don't have it, you can find out if anyone else has it. But then there's also the little downside of it is if you play this and somebody else has it, now everyone knows that you have it. So then you kind of become the target. So there's kind of that as well. that's what we have for this game. Not a lot of other stuff going on. Nice little fun party game. That is Power Hungry Pets. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see other different Exploding Kitten type games, let me know. I can check out. I don't buy a lot of the other ones because they're very much verbal party games, like Poetry for Neanderthals and stuff. And some of them are just, they're ones where they expect you to get up and do stuff or really interact with the other players a lot more than just playing cards. So they're not really in my wheelhouse as much. But they're interesting to see. Let me know. Maybe I'll pick them up and do some review, like, unboxings. We can see what they look like. Or any other types of games like that. Just go ahead and let me know. Alright, see you guys later. Bye.